Close your eyes and tell me what you see. Perhaps a never-ending story. Jive talking with me. Jive talking, heavy metal news for free. It's like a never-ending story. Never-ending story. So jive with me. Jeez. Okay, I kind of shit the bed on that at the beginning. Then it really came together. Pardon me. I got what I did was I sat right down and got to it. But Daddy had a rough day. So we're going to have a bit of an energy toot. But I'm going to cover this up because unless they pay Daddy big monies, they don't get to. I don't show it. I don't show that. I also have a beverage here. It is not an alcoholic beverage. Daddy's trying to be better about those things. It's going to take a little while. But I like to have a beer or two after work. But this is just kind of a sparkling water. But again, they don't pay Daddy no monies. They're not going to. I'm going to try and hide the logos. Welcome, one and all back to a hot and fresh new edition, episode 79, I believe, of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. What do we do here? We just talk about some stories that happened this week, and rest assured, if you're lonely or depressed or happy and excited or whatever time is a good time for you to listen to this podcast, I welcome you in. I ask you to join me. Big, tall, fat, small, any color, any whatever you are, you just tune this in and enjoy. Look at this sex pot right here. This guy, he's getting all sorts of stuff. This is Nuno Bettencourt. And he is getting all sorts of accolades, quite frankly. He's getting all kinds of stuff. And they ask him, extremes Nuno Bettencourt on playing with Paul McCartney. It's like you're having this bizarre dream. And I wanted to know what the dream was. Is it him and Paul McCartney in the throes of passion? Or is it just them kind of doing that where they put the penis to the bum, but they got the guitars on and they do the best of both worlds. I just wanted to know what it was about. So let's get into it right here and get into the Jive Talkin news. In a new interview with Sao Paulo, Brazil, 89 FM, a radio rock radio station, extreme guitarist Nuno Bettencourt reflected on his February 2015 performance with the Beatles legend Paul McCartney at the 57th annual Grammy Awards. Was that happened? I didn't watch. At the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. He said, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, I think extreme singer Gary Sharon and I would agree that there's a lot of bands that we have our favorites. There's a lot of bands out there, but we have a couple favorites if you know what we're talking about. Queen and Aerosmith and Van Halen and The Who. But I think if there was the pages of rock and roll that we said, okay, who are the front and back of the book and everybody else is between them, I think we would agree it would probably be the Beatles and Led Zeppelin. That's the pop side of things, the Beatles, and here's the rock and roll side of things with Led Zeppelin. And then everybody else is just in the middle. What about Black Sabbath? Do you think they're ding-dongs and dum-dums? So I think anything to do with Jimmy Page or Robert Plant or McCartney or John Lennon, of course, or Freddie Mercury or Brian May and all that stuff. But there's something about McCartney and the Beatles that is just so. It's so up there and it's mythological. They aren't even real. So when I had to be in a room with Paul McCartney for 3 days, sharing a hotel room with him for 3 freaking days, we were locked in there, 2 of them. What do you think we got down to doing? Oh, no, I didn't say that. For the Grammy rehearsals and the performance, I had to talk to myself all the time before I would walk in and just go, oh, it's not real. It's not really him. It's just a hologram. Don't get too excited. But when he's right here, he puts his hand right out in front of his face like this. That's what they got the commas for. It's not the sick thing that Miss Althea helped us with last week. It's just brackets there. And he's singing with you and he's playing with you. It's like you're having a bizarre nightmare. I mean, dream. It's insane. Extreme's new album, 6. Oh, it's not out yet? Will be released June 9th via Ear Music for the recording of the Bettencourt produced 12 tracks. The members Sharon vocals, Bettencourt guitar, Pat Badger, we know him on the bass, and we always forget Kevin Figueredo's name. He's the drummer. Buckled down at Bettencourt's home studio in Los Angeles to channel the electrifying eclecticism. Is that what that says, Miss Althea? Is that what that says? Eclecticism. Electrifying eclecticism that defined their seminal output with a 21st century twist. Extreme is currently gearing up to perform for audiences across the globe on its headlining Thicker Than Blood World Tour. It stretches from August 2nd to December 16th. I'm going. If they come by me, I'm going. And we'll see the band appear across the U.S., Australia, Japan, and Europe, including special guests, Living Colour, USA, Australia, and UK only. Well, that's a pretty good swath of it, isn't it? And the last international will be Europe only. Who didn't want to go see Living Colour with them? That is the perfect lineup. That is the perfect lineup, wouldn't you say? We can be frank, can't we, and say that Living Colour only had about 3 good songs, but they were pretty good songs. Let's get into this David Ellefson. Boy, he's so far away from Dave Mustaine, but he's so close. You know, in his thoughts and prayers and hopes and minds and dreams, he's that face says he's a bit upset about the situation at hand. He really wants to be in old James Lomenzo's spot. But I'm afraid, it's the way it is. David Ellefson looks back on Megadeth's early years. Dave Mustaine needed a real right-hand man who was going to be there. It was the two of them that started it off, wasn't it? During an appearance on Vox and Hops, the podcast hosted by Matt Magacci, frontman of extreme metal band Cryptopsy. Oh, is this Matt Magacci? He's the front man. Fucking A. I got to tune into that. What's that? Vox and Hops? Oh, that's where he drinks the brew and talks to him, right? But Dave Ellefson doesn't drink. He's a spiritual man. Former Megadeth bassist David Ellefson reflected on the band's early years, particularly how he survived the days of rock and roll debauchery and Sunset Strip excess of the late 1980s and early 1990s. He said, as transcribed, "Until I moved to California, I didn't think I really ever drank or anything before I went on stage. I always played sober, clear-headed show. I moved to L.A., and of course, I moved to L.A. and cocaine's on the cover of Time magazine that year, and it's the Sunset Strip. I mean, it's everything, and it's like, look, there it is. And it's kind of like, man, this is everything that you saw in a movie or a magazine. You become a product of your environment. It's there, and it's around. You could always, what did Mama Ellefson teach you? You don't fall to peer pressure. So if someone's snorting a big toot of cocaine off some sexy lady's ass cheeks, you say, "Pardon me, sir, no, I'm leaving." And it's around, and not everybody was going down those roads. You could have been one of them, but you didn't. But we kind of seemed to hang in those circles. He continued, "Look, I don't regret it at all. I wouldn't have changed any of it, man. I got to Hollywood and it fucking perfected time, man. Oh, the perfect time. I got to Hollywood at the fucking perfect time, man. The week we got there was just the best. I met Dave Mustaine, Megadeth lead singer and shred guitar player. We started Megadeth, and on it goes. And I kind of considered that was divine for both of us. He needed a real right-hand man who was going to freaking be there, and that was me. And I needed someone to freaking pilot the jungle. He knew his shit, and he grew up around the area. And I'm thankful for him every damn day. Despite all of it between me and Dave, I'm always thankful for him and that he was the big brother that helped me get through that. That's pretty sweet, right? That's a nice thing to say. Let's take a drink of this. Oh, that's refreshing. Sparkling water with lime. Never liked either of those things. Now find it quite refreshing. Ellefson was fired from Megadeth in May 2021, just days after sexually tinged messages and explicit videos involving the bassist were posted on Twitter. The dumpster fire of the world, right? Twitter. Shortly before Ellefson was dismissed, I love Twitter because like when you go back to when it first started, it's like the guy's idea was like, "What you doing?" And you just typed, "I'm eating a big pizza right now, and I just shat myself," and then you move on about your day, and then it turned into what it is now. Shortly before Ellefson was dismissed from Megadeth, he released a statement on Instagram denying all social media chatter that he groomed an underage fan. Yes, this is true. She was an older gal, and he was just having a internet relations with him. I bet you half the people that get in the comments and go, "How dare you, you son of a bitch," they're having some kind of, they're sending their ding-dongs to somebody online. Ellefson was in Megadeth for the band's inception in 1983 to 2002, when the group briefly broke up because Mustaine suffered severe nerve damage, I remember that left him unable to play. After Mustaine reformed Megadeth with an all-new lineup in 2004, Ellefson sued his former bandmate, I forgot about this, for $18.5 million, alleging that Mustaine still owed him substantial merchandise and publishing royalties. In January 2005, Dave said, "Come on back." No. In January 2005, the case was dismissed in court, and 5 years later, Ellefson rejoined Megadeth. I forgot completely about that because that makes sense why everyone says, "Dave's still holding grudges." Oh, Dave's still holding grudges from the past. If you tried to sue me for $18.5 million, yeah, I've got a grudge. Although, let's play the devil's advocate here. The artist had to damn near take him to court over that. So maybe Dave's not so good with paying his bills on time. He pays them, he just doesn't pay them, when they he gets the late fees kind of thing. So there you have that. He needed a right-hand man, and by God, he got it in David Ellefson. Let's look at this. Can anybody find me somebody to love? There he is. Freddie Mercury. And he's got that marching jacket on, stole that right out of the Sgt. Pepper's. He knows the Beatles. That guy knows. He knows. What's his name? Paul McCartney? I was going to say Roy McCartney. Here we go. Freddie Mercury. Thought this was interesting. Freddie Mercury's handwritten lyrics suggest he considered giving Queen classic Bohemian Rhapsody a different title. Does it say Bohemian Rhapsody in there? I saw this video where they're going around, everyone saying, "Say the first words. What are the first words of the song?" And everyone starts, "Mama." And they're like, "Nope, that's not it." And I can't remember what it is now, but it's, you go check that, go find that TikTok if you want to look at it. Freddie Mercury apparently considered giving Queen's now classic track Bohemian Rhapsody a somewhat different title. Mongolian Rhapsody. What? When he was writing the song, when he was going to call it Mongolian Rhapsody when he was writing the song lyrics, the alternate title was uncovered as part of a number of possessions which are being put on sale by the Queen singer's close friend, Mary Austin. Is that Mary Austin Paz, who inherited most of his estate and has cared for his items for more than 30 years at his former Garden Lodge home in upmarket Kensington. That's England or something like that, isn't it? Mercury's never-before-seen drafted lyrics Bohemian Rhapsody include the word Mongolian, crossed out and replaced with Bohemian, suggesting that Mongolian Rhapsody was the song's original title. There are other lyrical ideas that were seemingly abandoned or reworked, including alternate lines such as, "Time for goodbyes now, is this reality?" Time for goodbyes now, is this reality? And, "Mama, there's a war began. I've got to leave tonight." And Mama said, "All right." No, she didn't say all right. She said, "Mama just killed a man." Instead of "Mama just killed a man," it was going to say, "Mama, there's a war began." Huh, that's interesting. Mama, there's a war began. This past April, auction house Sotheby's announced that around 1,500 items from Mercury's London home will be displayed in exhibition around the world for the first time throughout 2023, with some going up for sale in September. An estimated 1,500 items will be sold over the course of 6 auctions and are expected to bring in more than £6 million. That is 7.4 million dineros. In Sotheby's press release, Austin said she decided it was time to let the items go. "For many years now, I've had the joy of privilege of living surrounded by all the wonderful things that Freddie sought out and so deeply loved. But the years have passed, and I needed some money. But the years have passed, and the time has come for me to take the difficult decision to close this very special chapter in my life. Freddie was an incredible and intelligent collector who showed us there is beauty and fun and conversation to be had found in everything. I hope the upcoming event will be an opportunity to share all the many facets of Freddie, both publicly and privately, and for the world to understand more about and celebrate his unique and beautiful spirit." That's very eloquent. When Freddie died in 1991, he left both the house and its contents to Mary, his former girlfriend and lifelong friend. Okay, she was in the movie, right? For 3 decades, Austin kept the house and its content almost exactly as they were when Mercury died. That's what you do. You charge celebrities to come through and sit down and have a cup of coffee with you on the couch in that house for, $15,000. Paul Stanley, all of them would come in and do it. They'd all come in, sit down, have a cup of coffee. You say, "Right, get out. We got someone coming at 9:30. Another highlight of the sale will be Freddie Mercury's handwritten working lyrics to the Queen's greatest anthems, "We Are the Champions," including harmonies and chords written across 9 pages. Also available are the previously unseen working lyrics to "Killer Queen," written on a single sheet of paper in black biro in 1974. So there you have that. If you got some green beans and you're interested in something like that, I would say go ahead and do it. Get them lyrics. That's a conversation piece. Roger Glover, he did an interview recently where he was talking about, they asked him about Richie Blackmore. Don't you want to get back together with him for a little bit? And he said, "Why on earth would we do that?" So I wanted to get into this and find out exactly what was going on with it. In a new interview with Sakis Fragos, that's a great name, of Rock Hard Grease, Deep Purple bassist Roger Glover addressed the recent rumors that the band has been in talks with guitarist Richie Blackmore about reuniting for one final run before they call it quits. Asked if there is a chance of something like that happening, Glover responded, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, "Not a bleeding bloody chance. Their rumours don't come from us. That's for sure. I mean, why on earth would we do that? I have the utmost regard for Richie as part of the band, and he was obviously an integral part of the band and what the band has become. Let's not forget that. But that's moving backwards. We don't move backwards. We move forwards in Deep Purple. The 77-year-old Glover was also asked about whether Deep Purple would announce its eventual final show and whether such a concert would include some of the artists the bands had previously performed with. Now, I don't think that's a great idea. I've never liked that idea. In fact, I don't even like the idea of announcing the last show. And here they are. This is their last show. I mean, the stress involved in that would be ridiculous. Where would it be? When would it be? For me, the ideal ending for Purple is that we just carry on until it stops. No announcement. We're not going to announce this is the last one. People would buy tickets. Oh, this is the last one. It's an exercise in making money. It's not very good. I've never liked it. I'd rather go and play and play and play and play and play. And one day, when something happens and one of us drops dead or gets really ill or whatever, well, that's that. And leave it at that. Blackmore, who celebrated his 78th birthday on April 14th, happy birthday, you old timer, you old dog, is a co-founder of Deep Purple and wrote many of the most memorable guitar riffs, including Smoke on the Water. It's such a good riff that every kid of the age of 12 that wants to play guitar knows how to play that. That's a go-to. But he has not played with the group since 1993. Exit. Steve Morse. Is that how you say that, Morse? Effectively took over Blackmore's slot in 1994 and was in the group for 28 years, longer than Richie, before being officially replaced by Simon McBride in July of 2022. The best news that's been said is Simon McBride's ears listening to this interview with Roger Glover going, we ain't never going to break the band up. He's like, thank God, because I just joined in July of 2022. I want to make some green beans. Deep Purple frontman, the fantastic Ian Gillan, most recently addressed the possibility of Blackmore's return in a November 2022 interview with Spain's Rock FM. The 77-year-old singer said, Sweet Lucy was a dancer, but none of us would chance her because she was a samurai. Look, Deep Purple is a he's English, right? Look, Deep Purple is a family that's been together before I joined. In '68, it was Richie Blackmore, John Lord, Ian Pace, the amazing drum work of Ian Pace, right? Nick Simper and Rod Evans, Roger Glover, and I joined in '69. And in the intervening periods, there's been David Coverdale and Glenn Hughes and a couple other guys. And then, when we grew up, when we settled down and the human chemistry was okay, we were getting on fine. We had the reunion with Perfect Strangers. We must remain perfect strangers. Jesus, that album is good. Get in the comments and tell me about Perfect Stranger. But everything was slightly different. Richie was different, and I think we all were. Richie used to be my roommate. And we used to, the hot water would run out a lot in the room. Sometimes we had to shower together. No, he didn't say that. Richie used to be my roommate in Deep Purple. We used to party together, and I don't like to think of the negatives. I just have a lot of fantastic memories of Richie as a great guitar player with a wicked sense of humor, and I mean wicked, and professional, and really good guy in that sense. But something changed in Richie when he got back together, and we'd all changed, and the human chemistry wasn't quite the same, so it became difficult. And in the end, there was the antagonism, and I got fired from the band. because I wanted to do more touring, and Richie wanted to do less touring. And we had a meeting one day, and I said, why don't we go to South America? Why don't we go to Russia? Why don't we go all over the world? We're a live band. And the next day, Richie went to the management and said, well, it's him or me. So they chose him. All for just saying that. Just saying, hey, why don't we go on a vacation, guys, together? Why don't we go do something fun together? He's like, get him out. He likes fun. This guy likes fun. And that was fine. And then they made a record with another singer. I can't remember his name. And the record label said, either you get Ian back in the band or we're bleeding bloody tearing up the contract. So I went back in Deep Purple and Richie went crazy. He didn't like it. So eventually he walked out. So, in normal terms, in a family or something like that, because we are a family, you don't think it was like a divorce, something like that. He walked out, he's gone, but he wanted to keep control of the band after having walked out. And he's been a pain in the bleeding bloody ass ever since. Ha, 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 he laughs. But we are getting on much better these days. I think his manager has got to do a lot to do with it. The problems that exist. So it's one of those things that you cope with. We're over this, but I don't think... have you seen the way Richie Blackmore looks these days? I mean, he's going for a whole kind of the peasants that live in King's Landing of Game of Thrones. They wear the frilly hats and feathers and stuff. They got a couple of little people dancing around him. It's really weird. I looked into something. It was like from like a year or two ago, and they're dressed in those outfits and these playing, you know, and they're I don't know. One more fun story than your comments, everybody. You know who this old rascal is. This is Stephen Pearcy. He talks up Rat on the band's 40th anniversary. We had no competition. And that's all I need to know to get into this story, is he's about ready to say, look, all those bands, they weren't no competition for us. Got another drink of this. Cover this can up. Oh, that is refreshing. It's not as good as a beer. I'm not going to be sitting here lying about it, okay? But you gotta get a handle on that kind of stuff. Let's see what old Steven's got to say. Rat's new The Atlantic Years, 1984 to 1991 limited edition box set has, for now, taken some attention away from the band's inability or unwillingness to reunite and place it back on their music. With discussions rampant regarding bands using modern technology, backing tapes, to enhance live performances, Rat musicianship has received a nice revalidation of late. The band was widely considered one of the more musically capable acts to emerge from the Los Angeles Sunset Strip, headed up by the Robin Crosby / Warren DeMartini guitar tandem that influenced an untold number of would-be guitar heroes to take up the instrument throughout the 80s. And for a good reason, Crosby and DeMartini's licks on Wanted Man, Body Talk, and Way Cool Jr., and several others rank among the finest the hair metal scene has produced. With Rat's 80s contemporaries gradually starting to call it a day, frontman Stephen Pearcy isn't sitting still. He remains an active solo artist and is planning a 2024 Las Vegas residency celebrating the music of the Sunset Strip. Oh. As expected, Pearcy didn't appear optimistic about a Rat reunion. But in talking to Blabbermouth, the frontman shared what he and DeMartini bassist Juan Crucier and drummer Bobby Blotzer were able to put aside any differences in the name of assembling the box set. Whether this leads to something new is unlikely. DeMartini appears to be the primary holdout, but Pearcy sounds content to remain as one 80s artist with no qualms living in the past. Oh, is this an interview? Let's get one question. Blabbermouth says, what was the Atlantic Years box set a group effort with the other guys? If so, how did it come together? Steven says, it came together for BMG, you ding dong. They are doing a series with other artists. Why? It's popular again, although it never went away. They instigated it and said, if we all want to be involved, and lo and behold, the surviving guys put their 2 cents in, and I put in an extra 2 cents for Robin, what he might like. It was all good. We said, go for it. Was this then a collaboration between you and Bobby and Juan and Warren? Probably the only reunion, this is Stephen Piercy, probably the only reunion you're going to get right here, the 40th anniversary. Okay, there we go. We're getting into your comments now. Fun, fun, fun. Till your daddy takes the T-Bird. Let's do it, guys. Let's just jump right into them, okay? We got old Mike Buchanan here, and he's managed to get his comment on, so that's fantastic. Let's start off with movies that are bad, but we love them anyway. This week, I give you, in all its glory, Rubber. From 2010. A homicidal car tire, oh boy. A homicidal car tire, discovering it has destructive psionic power, sets its sights on a desert town. I love desert town movies. A mysterious woman becomes its obsession. Yep, you read that right. It's a movie about a tire that becomes a killer. I've seen this movie like 5+ times. Really? And I still can't figure out what actually is going on in the movie. If bad B-horror movies are your thing, then check it out. Just check out Rubber. What did Reading Rainbow used to say? Geordie LaForge used to say, but don't take my word for it. Okay, we did the movie little bit here, I'll throw in one for you. This is kind of homework if you're into it. Troll 2. Now, it is classically, horribly, terribly bad movie. But you need to watch Troll 2, and then right after that you watch a documentary called The Worst Best Movie. And it is about the making of Troll 2. And you will just love it over and over again. There are so many lines that you can, that you get from that movie. You don't piss on hospitality. There's just so much. So get in there, watch Troll 2, and then watch The Worst Best Movie. Or vice versa if you want. If you want to watch the documentary first, you can. Now on, here's Mike Buchanan here. Now on to Motley Crue. I agree with Miss Althea on this one. It's time to hang it up and just retire. The nostalgia wave is about to crash. And we're doing a video. You guys have already seen it because this episode's come out, and we did same old situation about it. Should we put a referendum on no more Motley Crue videos? It's hard to do because it's just so wonderful. Still Mike Buchanan here. While Rob will work his magic in the studio, the band, when they go to perform the new songs live, will self-destruct. Yeah, because Rob Zombie goes in there and he works with the producer, and then says, "All right, shovel this shit out." I'd be curious if he does the tapes. Sometimes you wonder. I mean, his voice is live, but kind of hoping that the next Rob Zombie album is better than the last one, the Lunar Injection Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy from 2021. Only time will tell. And yes, Rob doesn't need John, but then again, neither does Motley Crue. That's true. John should just stick to his solo career. I'm looking forward to the 2 new Alice Cooper albums. Yes, I heard he was putting out 2. And when he tours again, I will be in the audience just looking at Nita. The last time he came to my town, he was spotted walking around the local mall. I bet you he golfs every day. So what's the hot golf spot? Go hang out there. Go get yourself a golf pass. Get on one of those get on the course there so you can hang out with him. Get behind him so you can hit him with a golf ball. If you're sorry, Alice, whatever they do. Beside performing his debut album, I read Danzig is going to be performing his Danzig Sings Elvis album on tour in Vegas. Yeah. Was Brett watching the same stadium tour the rest of us were? I hate dumping on crew, but damn. Yeah, he's referring to Bret Michaels talking about everyone rocked on the tour. Everyone was great and fantastic, and it was all good. But he got back there and said, "CC, man, I'm telling you, we're kicking their asses. Did you just hear Motley Crue? They sound like shit, CC. They sound like shit." Dude, Kiss meets the Phantom of the Park MST3K style. You know me, I'd watch that. Also want to throw this out there just to get you thinking about it. A live Jive Talkin with Shane D when you get to your 100th episode. I'm still trying to figure out the stuff on that, but at some point I would really like to do, once I have, I guess, a bigger subscriber, the channel's a little bit bigger, I would really like to do something where it was every day. There was a live stream every day, and I'm talking about still doing all of the stuff that I already do, all the requests and everything else, but there would be, a set time, almost like a morning radio show is what I would really like to do, where you're just talking heavy metal and stuff like that live for a couple hours every day. A phone line, taking the stuff, all of that. I really want it. So you have got my juices boiling or stewing, but I don't know if it'll be the 100th episode. Us Jive Talkin fanatics would love to communicate live with each other. That's the thing. Is I really, really, really would like the channel to be more, to be community based. I love the old days of the heavy metal message boards. There was just a ton of people that was on there always communicating and stuff. So we'll get to it. At some point, I will get that all figured out. The "I saw the photograph and liked it" comment, that's from last time when I was asking what it meant. Photograph I like comment referred to look at this photograph. Look at this photograph. I mean, that was not a good song, right? But it became a kind of a meme. You know what? You guys are going to think, oh, this guy. But, I love that. I love that song. Father of Mine from Everclear. Every time that song comes on, I love it. Or do we got any Everclear heads around here? Father of Mine, tell me where have you been? I just closed my eyes. The whole world disappeared. Oh, Jesus. Let's get into old Mike Buchanan's jokes of the week here. What's he got? What's the best day to eat bacon? Friday, gonna get down on Friday. But in reality, every day. Now, he spelled Friday as in fry, like in frying some French fries. So Friday, which basically is every day. Why isn't there a pregnant Barbie doll? Because Ken came in another box. Oh! God! That is disgusting and fantastic all at the same time. What in the... And very, very, it's technically true. He came in another box. Did they ever do where the Barbie dolls came together? You got a Ken and a Barbie. And was there ever a kid on the planet that didn't instantly pull them out of the boxes and start rubbing them together? Every time I opened the door in my sister's room, she had her Ken and Barbie. She's going, what? What do you want? Shut my door. Leave me alone. What's blue and not very heavy? Light blue. I asked my wife, do you know a 3-letter word for eggs? It's ova. She says, it's ova. Me. Why? Is it because I'm terrible at crosswords? I asked my wife, do you know a 3-letter word for eggs? Is that true? Ova? Because your wife said, it's ova. O-V-A. You damn dummy. Why? It's because is it because I'm terrible at crossword? Jesus, I'm butchering your jokes. That's why you got to go to, Fat Tuesdays or wherever and do a stand-up set. And finally, if a llama with one L is a holy man in Tibet, and a llama with 2 L's is an adorable beast of burden, what's a 3L llama? A big fire in Boston. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. What's a 3L llama? A 3L llama. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Boston. Park the car in the yard. Very good, sir. You get the thumb, man. I'm giving you the thumb and the heart. Levi coming in here. So you got some stuff. Hi, Shane. Regarding movie reviews, I think Patreon is not supposed to block anything you play on there. Doing it like Mystery Science Theater 3000 would fit you perfectly. Yeah, but I would like to, it'd be even fun, too, is just put a little silhouette. I love that their silhouettes are always down there moving with the movie and stuff. I've watched every damn episode of that. I just love it. Still Levi here. I remember cutting out of school with my girlfriend going to see the Jeff Bridges King Kong movie oh, really? Double featured with the 1968 Planet of the Apes. That's a hell of a bill. We ended up liking the Planet of the Apes better. I'll tell you what, and this is going to be too much TMI, so plug your ears. If you hear something that you start going, oh my God. But the first time I was a young boy, okay? And I was at my grandparents' house. They had Skinamax. They had all of it. But I think the legit first time that I said I felt things tingling in my nether regions, like, oh, this is delightful, is the scene in Jeff Bridges' King Kong, when King Kong is, what's her name? I can't remember her name now, but he's giving her the little bath, and he pulls her little outfit off. I was like, oh my God, my ging is going wing wing. It's tingling. It was something else. And then I've been watching this show called Dark Side of the Ring that talks about all these world wrestling things, right? And it came back to me that I think one of my first crushes ever was Elizabeth. Macho Man Elizabeth. I remember when I was watching the episode on Macho Man, or on Elizabeth, because she actually, spoiler alert, dies. But I remembered as soon as I saw her, I said, there she is. I had a crush on her when I was 12. Okay, still Levi here. Sorry, I'm going way off. We ended up liking Planet of the Apes better. By the way, love the Jive Talkin exit song. Thank you. Good man. There you go. I didn't give you a thumb, but someone gave you a thumb for your comment. Miss Althea coming in with this. The Dumbstruck Fool says, first and foremost, rest in peace, Tina Turner. Yes, indeed. We love Tina Turner. We love What's Love Got to Do? And how crazy is it that Ghosts do that EP, that cover EP called Phantomime, and they do We Don't Need Another Hero by Tina Turner. How crazy is that? Love Tina Turner. Yes. So I agree with that. Still Miss Out here, Motley Crue. I love the way she does this. She's like, boom, there you go. She's got them all set up. Motley Crue. I wish I could say I was excited about the prospect of new music with John 5, but sorry, can't do it. The ship has sailed for me, and at this point, I would rather see Vince exit again and John Corabi come back. Whew. How long do you think it'll be before Nikki Sixx decides that? Hey, Tommy, I've got this wacky idea. We got John Corabi, and we keep John 5, and then we stay together for another 20 years. What do you think about that? Might be something. Miss Althea on Alice Cooper. Learning to play golf and mastering the game basically saved his life. It helped him conquer alcoholism and stay sober. Yeah, keeping busy is good for that. According to Bobby Blotzer, another avid golfer, Alice's skills are at a PGA level. And if you're looking to hit the links just for fun with him, be prepared to have your ass kicked. Yeah, he's been doing it a long time. Another drink here. Little burpee. So you guys are probably thinking, he's covering the can because it's actually beer. That's why he's covering up that can like that. But it's not true. Miss Althea on Bret Michaels. Your impression aired on the side of Paul Stanley's stage voice. I know, they go all over the place, really. Of course, Bret is going to say publicly that everyone sounded great, even though a ton of video evidence of Motley Crue specifically proves otherwise. I think we've done that again this week. Get in the comments and tell me, should I leave them alone already and just move on and try and, do a better job of things? Except for backstage brawls with CC back in the day, he has never really been a shit stirrer, nor does he have a tendency to speak ill of anyone. See, and that's a good way to be. Last thing for Miss Althea here, you doing Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park MST3K style, hell yeah. Okay, I'm going to start to look into this very seriously, but I will tell you right now, if I do something like that, I'm only going to put it on the Patreon. It will instantly get blocked on here, so I would have to find a place. It would instantly get blocked, period, if it's up through YouTube. So I think I know where there's a version of it, and I could, film the whole dang thing. It'd be wonderful to do something like that with a live stream, so I could sit and read your, read. But how would? It's the technical stuff. That's the thing. Is how would you do that? I don't know. I imagine there's a live thing I could do through the Patreon. I'll figure all that out. Miss Althea, you're wonderful. There's your heart. Jolly Jake Lavelle. Magnanimous, or is it Mighty Mouse? Or Shithouse Mouse? Magnanimous, or is it Mighty Mouse? Or Shithouse Mouse? Okay, you're silly. Rask coming in with this. Yes, gonna enjoy this while doing chores. Saved my night. If I'm saving your night, baby, you're feeling all right. That's a heart for you. Steve Bernard coming in here. Oh, he's going to talk prostates. Let's talk prostates, baby. Let's talk about you. And I never had a prostate exam because it never seemed scientific to me. I want scans and x-rays, not a finger in my ass. I finally had one done a few years ago because I was in Colombia, South America. And there they do it by blood test. No fingers necessary. I did not see that coming. I was thinking the fist. Colombia, South America, they put a fist in there. The test measures the level of PSA, prostate-specific antigen. So everyone's a winner. No doctor telling me to squeal like a pig, boy. Get down there in the comments if you know what movie that came from. That was horrifying. I was like, why are they doing that to the guy from Superman? That's kind of rude. Yes, indeed, everyone. Get out there, seize the day, seize the weekend, seize your life. Take it up, take it out, get moving, get focused. Do not let anyone tell you that that you're not good at things. Whatever you want to be good at, as long as you love being good at it, then you be good at it. It don't damn matter. Okay? On that. Please don't make me angry right now. Okay. I think I can work with this, guys. That volume's up pretty loud, isn't it? There we go. Here we go. Out in the street there is violence, and then a lot of work to be done. But when you listen to Jive Talkin with Shane D, you forget about all your troubles, forget about all your pains, all your worries. We're gonna rock down to Jive Talkin Avenue. We're gonna rock down to Jive Talkin Avenue. Jive